Hello, and welcome to this overview of historical romance books where the lady outranks her partner. I'm Olivia, your favorite resource for book recommendations you can easily screenshot. You're watching Random Olive Reads. So, what is this social class difference and why is it important? Well, within historical romance, it's socially expected to marry within the same class. This is to ensure good breeding and maintain the social status of all the parties involved. It is especially important for ladies, like the daughters of titled lords, to marry either at or above their level, mostly to avoid any social climbers or fortune hunters. It is particularly scandalous for ladies to marry below their station. Always Remember by Mary Balogh is book 3 of the Ravenswood series. Ben Ellis is the illegitimate son of an earl who was raised in the earl's family home after the death of his mother. While Ben has always been embraced as part of the family, he has had a sense of otherness about him. After a big family scandal, he went with his younger brother Devlin to war, where he met and married the woman carrying his child. After she died of illness, he comes home as a single father to a young girl. Now that Ben has settled into his own seaside home, he's considering remarrying, but is indecisive about which woman to court. He's hoping that a visit to his family home for the summer will help him make a decision. While he's there, he meets Lady Jennifer again, the sister of a duke who had married his own sister. Jennifer is disabled after a childhood illness and gives off a cheery disposition. However, a chance conversation between Ben and Jennifer has both of them spilling their secrets to a near stranger and then becoming friends because of it. This book is a delightful, slow build of friendship, trust, and love, despite their differences in social station. We get to see Ben be a doting father to his child and see that child grow attached to Jennifer as well. If you're a fan of quiet, slow burn romances, this one is for you. One Night of Temptation by Darcy Burke is book 6 of the Wicked Dukes Club series. Penelope, the daughter of a marquis, sets out to ruin herself and her arranged betrothal to an elderly earl by faking a kidnapping. The neighborhood rector, Hugh, ends up rescuing her from a very real kidnapping and also helps her hide from her parents for the night. Penelope hopes that the appearance of a kidnapping will help call off the betrothal. With all of their hiding and running around through town through the night, Penelope and Hugh very quickly develop camaraderie, friendship, and affection. Despite their differences in social station, Penelope just wants to be happy and useful, and Hugh has friends in high places that assist him when he needs it. A Little Bit Wild by Victoria Dahl is book 1 of the York family series. Younger sister of a Baron, Marissa, has gotten herself caught in a compromising situation with a man she does not want to marry. Marissa is shallow and flighty and just wanted to find some pleasure, even though the fumbling man she was with did not provide it. But with the potential for scandal, her barren brother insists that she get married. Her other brother's friend, Jude, steps up to volunteer despite being the illegitimate son of a duke and someone who has completely escaped Marissa's notice until now. Jude has been intrigued by Marissa's wickedness and hopes to make her his wife in truth. She's just hoping for a fake engagement for the time being until the scandal blows over and she can get back to dancing and frivolity. There's a lot going on with other characters at this house party, and fun to see how all the players interconnect. It was also a nice setup here for her brother's book later on in the series. His Study in Scandal by Megan Frampton is book 2 of the School for Scoundrel series. Alexandra is a widowed duchess out of mourning, looking to take charge of her life by tearing up her morning gowns, shopping at the modiste her late husband hated, and enjoying a night at a hedonistic garden with a handsome stranger. Theo is a wealthy businessman who just made a deal to marry a duke's sister, but plans to spend one last night at the pleasure gardens before officially meeting her. Theo and Alexandra meet there and spend the night together before parting ways. Complications arise when they realize that Theo has been intended for Alexandra's daughter as a way for her stepson, the new duke, to cover the debts that he incurred in the last 2 years. uh, except with all of the attraction between Theo and Alexandra, it's obvious that he's not going to marry her daughter, but they need to figure out a way to get themselves out of this delicate situation. Knockout by Sarah McLean is book 3 of the Hell's Bell series. Lady Imogen is the chemical explosives expert of the Bells and often spotted at crime scenes collecting her own evidence, much to the dismay of Scotland Yard's Detective Inspector Tommy. While these two aren't exactly teaming up, they're both trying to solve the same crimes and keep running into each other. At some point, Tommy is tasked with finding an Earl's missing sister to keep himself in line with a promotion. That sister, of course, is Imogen, and she's not really missing at all. Throughout the book, Imogen is the pursuant, and Tommy is the one who hesitates due to his social station or lack thereof. But Imogen's self esteem takes the rejection very differently. Once they finally do team up, the sparks are well worth it, though Tommy will have to decide whether to trust Imogen and the Bells or the police. Longing for a Lady by Jane Maguire is book 3 of the Inconveniently Wed series. Our friend Lavinia from the previous book finds herself in a situation where she's pregnant by an earl who has recently married somebody else. To avoid being married off to a much older man to cover up her indiscretion, she seeks out her childhood friend and now surgeon, Will, for help. He offers her marriage and his protection, and she ultimately accepts. Since Lavinia is a baron's daughter, she has enjoyed the frivolity of balls in society, so moving to a small village as a surgeon's wife is a big change for her. She loses the pregnancy early on in the book and feels guilty for trapping Will with her, but he's been in love with her for like ever and feels like he cannot provide the lifestyle that she's accustomed to. They're both very bad at communicating their true feelings, which leads to a lot of guilt and insecurity. But it was nice to see Lavinia try to show her appreciation for Will, even if her surprises don't always turn out as planned. The Affair by Lily Maxton is book 1 of the Sisters of Scandal series. This one's a novella-length story. Elizabeth is out of mourning and ready to wear colorful dresses again. When she escapes from the rain, she meets a handsome rake of a bookseller, Cale, and is intrigued by him. Somehow, Elizabeth is being courted by her late husband's cousin and heir, while also being pursued by Cale for some sort of affair. She ends up starting that affair with Cale, even knowing that he's uninterested in marriage and their differences in social station may block a serious relationship. This was a pretty quick read that resolves fairly quickly, but really enjoyable. Diary of an Accidental Wallflower by Jennifer McQuiston is book 1 of the Seduction Diary series. Claire is a Viscount's daughter who's hoping to make a match with a Duke's heir this season, but she accidentally turns her ankle and she ends up in the wallflower line at a ball. She catches the attention of a young doctor named Daniel who is curious about why she's walking funny. It's clear from the start they're totally mismatched in terms of social status, but that doesn't stop the attraction from developing as Daniel takes care of Claire's ankle over time. Daniel is also really good at managing Claire's rambunctious younger siblings. It was nice to see the social climbing Claire realize that her friends are horrible villains and she didn't really have a chance with the Duke's heir after all, and that Daniel is a kind, respectable, honorable man who deserves the best. Say Yes to the Princess by Charis Michaels is book 1 of the Hidden Royal series. Elise is an exiled French princess being housed by the royal family and being redirected and managed after asking one too many questions about her missing younger brother. The royal family has hired Killian, the second son of an earl and all around fixer, to distract Elise from her goals and keep her from being nosy. While Elise and Killian start off at odds, they're instantly attracted to each other and want to know more about the other person's background. Elise has her own issues of loneliness and despair, while Killian has also suffered from ostracism due to his mother's background. It was interesting to find out more about Killian's backstory, especially in meeting his family at the estate where he grew up. And just when Just like Elise, we start to fall in love with Killian in seeing his kindness towards his nephew. Chasing the Bride by Erica Ridley is book 6 of the Lords in Love series. Tabitha has been betrothed to her father's Viscount friend since before she was born, and with her father on his deathbed, the wedding shall be held in short order. Tabitha has no interest in marrying the lecherous old man, but feels like it's her role or duty as a daughter to comply. She spends some of her last days of freedom at the Merrywell Matchmaking Festival, but her betrothed has assigned his man of business to watch over her. Hudson has worked for the old Viscount for years and has been unwisely pining for Tabitha despite being at a much lower social standing. While he is competent at his tasks, he is dreading the day when Tabitha must submit to marriage to the old Viscount. When she's spending time with Hudson, Tabitha realizes true joy and companionship, making her dread her looming marriage even more. She ultimately runs away, Hudson catches up with her, and then they spend more time together. Even though his job is to bring her back to his employer. This book was a lot of fun to read with our two people easily falling in love, but being kept apart due to their circumstances. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found a book or two to add to your TBR. Links to all of these books are in the description box. Like and subscribe to get updates, and you can follow me on Instagram at randomolive.